Okay, family. Greetings, everyone. How are you? I hope all is well. I have to laugh. Let me get adjusted up here in these YouTube streets. Wait a couple of seconds with this smile on my face. So let's get started. So I'm laughing because every time I go on, I think I got it, and then my thumbnail is always some look on my face that is forever cemented throughout eternity. Start using AI companion. Why? Let me turn this off. I don't really like AI. So, happy Saturday. Today is Saturday. It is 1:38 in the afternoon in New York City. I know in the Gambia it is 4 hours later, making it 5:38. I had intended to come on at 8 a.m. New York time. I don't know what I was thinking. It was a great idea until I woke up at 8 and was like, oh, that ain't gonna happen. So, why am I here? I am here because I had promised on the last live to talk about my opinions regarding relocating to Africa, specifically relocating to the Gambia. And before I get started, let me make sure that everything is working well. I have my phone. I'm going to go into YouTube just to see that it is working. Okay, so bear with me. Make sure it is connected, that you hear me. And if you have any comments, I can read your comments from the screen. So I was already in something. I'm going to go to home, exit that out. Okay. Yes. Let's see. It's great. So there are Kwashia, greetings. Let me turn the volume down. Yes, sis, I am back in the States. Stay tuned and stay connected. I'll share with you more, or feel free to go back to some of my other lives that I shared when I first arrived in July, explaining why I came back. Uh, it's not a very long trip, but it could be. As you probably knew, I was there for a very long period before making my way back to the States. And I realized that, let me just speak very quickly about that. I was lucky enough to meet some really nice people in the Gambia. And so when they were telling me they were going back to the States, one person in particular called me and said, Sis, I'm going back to pick up some things. If you need anything, let me know. I'll be happy to bring them back when I come. She said to me, I am getting a suitcase. I'm allowed 50 pounds for free, no cost to drag it on the plane. And so I was thinking, I'm not going to need 50 pounds of items brought back, but I ordered some things, then I reached out to other people to let them know. So I appreciated the fact that that person reached out to me. And then there were two other people that I was able to get in contact with who were coming. And then they said, I have things for you. That's how we have to navigate when going to the Gambia. I'm talking about the Gambia, but I could almost safely say in any country that you're going to repatriate to, you want to make sure that you are connected. So now let me start from scratch. Greetings, family. How are you? I hope all is well with you. All is well with me. This is Miss L, my aunt on the mat, coming to you from New York City. So, yes, my platform is about my transformation in Africa. However, the funny thing is, I am still transforming. I am still going through the process of change, and it's taking place right here in the United States. What I learned is the information that I received in Africa was supposed to be used to go back, get, tell, share, and then return. You understand that? Because once you know, you know. So let me share with you my notes, okay? The best candidate to relocate or for relocation, I'm just going to say to the Gambia because that's where I came from, okay? I would say the best candidate is someone who is retired and receiving a generous pension or monthly income that supports them more than what they think they would need in the Gambia. Now, I say that because I understand that there are people who have thought, let me relocate, let me leave the United States because it's so expensive and go to a different country where the value of my dollar is stronger. Well, the economy is going to always change. The dollar can go up or down depending on the country that you're in. And from what I have seen, the cost of living, trust me, if the cost of living is high in America, then you know everywhere else around the world, the cost of living is high too. Now, when my children were young, we used to go to St. Kitts. And when we would get there, I would go to Cambio, I think that was the exchange place, and get the Caribbean dollars, even though I think they did take US dollars. I can't remember now. But the prices I thought were cheaper because I would stay at a bed and breakfast. And the first thing I did when we arrived is I would go to the supermarket and I would get groceries for them, breakfast foods, and then we would eat the rest outside for lunch and dinner. But I thought the prices were cheaper, but when you convert it, it's all the same. When you talk about the World Bank or the economy, everything is all connected. It's not separate. So the price is going to change. One of the things I realized is that if you shopped in the supermarkets, and they had the products that you were happy getting. You got your name brand, your US brand, or close to the US brand, because some brands just didn't really taste the same. They would have it on a shelf and then they would run out, and then when the next shipment came in from overseas, they would restock the shelf, but always the price was a little bit higher. So over time, the cost becomes more and more. You're going to have to factor that into your budget, especially if there is no increase in your pension, or Social Security, or other types of savings. So remember that costs will go up. The rate of exchange will go up. The other thing is because that's being said, if you retired early or you found that your money is going faster than what you had anticipated, you may want to do some type of work where you have residual income coming in, residual income where it's passive, but it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. You're making money off of it. A lot of YouTubers were doing it, I think initially 4 to 5 years ago, 6, 7 years ago, they were able to accumulate a lot of customers, and then you could live off of that money. For the new ones coming up, I don't know how it works. I personally am not trying to make YouTube my source of income. YouTube is my source for information, period. What I have to share does not garner millions of people coming in. The information that I'm sharing is for people that find it valuable and truthful. Let's continue. But you do want to have some kind of income. I know that sometimes people are encouraged to start a business. Be careful about your goals. Be careful about how much the startup is going to be, what products you'll have to have, and then the initial investment. Okay. And I'll talk about that more in the topic about how much you really need for the first 2 years when coming to the Gambia. Okay. I put down here, you want to have liquidated funds, cold, hard cash. You want to have cash available, but do not bring that cash with you. If your cold, hard cash is in your bank account or checking account in the United States, leave it there. Your money is FDIC insured up to $20,000. Keep it there. However, you will set up a bank account in the Gambia and then attach it so that you can do bank-to-bank transfers if necessary. One of the other things that I'm enjoying is having the relationship with the gentleman who's helping me build my modest mansion. We transfer money through Cash App. I'm an American. He's an American. He has Cash App. I can transfer that money within seconds. And that makes um, the transfer of monies a lot more, it's easier. I don't have to go to the bank. I don't have to have money on me. And it's a nice way of keeping an electronic account of all of your money spent. You get a statement every month. You can filter it out and quickly see how much money is being transferred over. So I enjoy that. You're going to set your Cash App up in America. You can't be in Africa and do it. With that being said, keep your American phone and make sure you have international service. Is it expensive? Yes, it is. But if you think that not having your American phone is that keeping your phone is too expensive, maybe the monthly fees are $200, you may want to think about if that's the right place for you to be, if you're doing it how I say you should do it. Because here's the deal. Your money will be in your bank account in the States. You will open your bank account up in the Gambia. You will want to go online and do a bank-to-bank transfer. Your bank will send you a verification code to your cell phone. And that's usually the way you've got your verification codes for the past 10, 15 years that you used your bank. And then you got to the Gambia and thought, hey, I'm going to offset some expenses. I'm not going to use this anymore. I'll get me a phone, a Gambian phone that's local. I could do WhatsApp on that phone. My family can reach me there. That's going to save an expense. That doesn't work. Your bank will not be able to reach you. And therefore, honey, they locking in that. They're not sending those funds. That's for your safety. Yes, it's a frustration. You think it's my money, I want to get my money. But if it was somebody else trying to get at your money and the bank just let it go, you'd be yelling at the bank. So the verification is for your safety. keep your phone and factor that amount into your budget. Okay. And then put it on auto pay so that you don't have to worry about it. So that if there's no Wi-Fi, if something happens, that money is your bill is being paid monthly without you even having to really worry about it. I also said to don't bring any money with you, cold hard cash, because that is a safety factor as well. You don't want to have lots of money in your hotel room or stashed in your suitcase or in the place that you're renting or the place that you're building. That is not wise and it's not safe. I know people talk about their grandparents putting money in the mattress. We ain't doing that no more. Okay? Leave it in the bank. And then maybe when you're settled later, you may want to, but I don't know why. When I left Gambia, I had no American dollars with me. And when I had purchased my ticket, I somehow started to panic because I had been so used to having cash on hand to do everything. I was like, how am I going to get to my house? How am I going to get around? And I'm like, girl, you got your debit card. You don't need cash in New York City. You don't need cash in the United States. And now you don't you don't need money for anything. Cash. Tap and go. That's it. Transactions are done very quickly and easily. So you want to keep it. Oh, sorry. That's my cousin calling me. I'll have to call her later. Let's continue. I did mention keep your US phone with your long distance service. hmm I think now you could also, I wanted to say you can either set up an email address so that they can, because there is an option to send a verification code to your phone or an email address. But I think when it comes to having issues that need to be addressed in the United States, and you have to call, they're not going to have a WhatsApp number. You will still need your US phone. And I say that because there were a few times I had to lend people my phone in order for them to make a phone call. So it's needed. It's needed. I'm here in the States. If they're in Gambia, I'm not around to say, hey, sis, you can use my phone. Go ahead. So you want to have that flexibility so that you're not stressed. These are things to keep you relaxed as you are traveling or living in the Gambia because your stress level can go up. It will go up and it can add to disease or sickness in the body. And you know what was happening in the Gambia? Mm, all that stress. Okay, let's see. I remember I would listen to YouTubers and they would say, don't come to a country and just settle in and live. You want to visit, you want to come back and forth and make sure that that is the right decision. And I would say, golly, that's just so much money to be spending from America to Africa. Is on average about $2,000. And then to get a hotel. So you want to get there and get settled in and la, la, la. I would say, if you are deciding to just pack everything up or sell everything and go, understand that probably the first 2 weeks will be the best time you have because the first 2 weeks you'll probably spend at a nice hotel on the beach until you get your place or start looking around for something that has a decent amount that's not too expensive. And then you were in the process of really living. You went from vacationing, which you're never going to experience as long as you come and go, to actually living. And so if you come and visit and then you prepare yourself to return, understand that there are a couple of things that you'll need to do. Okay. When you're living in a country, you need housing, you need transportation, and you need access to money on a regular basis. Once you get your housing, that means that you are living in that country. And so the environment of being on a vacation is very different. On a vacation, it may be a small room or an apartment. You have a housekeeper. I'm at Tamala when I go, so I have, there's a food, there's a breakfast that's included, there's a pool, there's music in the evenings, and you think, oh my God, this is so wonderful. I could live here. And I said that every time I went on vacation. If when I went to Cuba, oh, I could live here. I went to Jamaica. I could live here. I everywhere I thought I could live there. But the reality was I could visit because I was earning money in the United States and then could stop, take a break, purchase a nice place to vacation, enjoy the experience. But then I'd have to go back and earn some more money. When you're living there, how are you earning money? So, what if you say, well, I want to do something online, anything that's done remotely? Remember that electricity and the internet service is not 100% reliable. Now, when I would usually go live when I was in Gambia, I used to have to go to a hotel in Senegambia. I would stay at Tamala and pay the fee for a room overnight, or at a different place, Micah, and pay the fee overnight. If you have a business and they're expecting you to reach out to them regularly, it can add stress if you're not sure that the service will be consistent or if you can't get any service at all because you realistically can't stay at Tamala 5 days a week just to work, or you could be at a restaurant, but you can't. There's noise, there's activity. You may not want your company to know that you're out of the country. You want to have your background secure, but you want to be in an environment where it's conducive for working. And so that becomes a little different, except if you have your own business online, whatever that is. But you do have to have other people in the States able to be your backup if necessary. Okay. You have a clothing line or jewelry and you want to ship stuff back and then have it sold out of your basement or whatever, someone else is going to have to be there. Okay. Um, this is something that I wrote, and I'm surprised because I would never have said this before. Be prepared to return to America when you have to. That goes back to having enough funds necessary so that in an emergency, you get sick, the sickness lingers, you're not getting better, it's getting worse. Before you have to be challenged where you don't have energy to board the plane yourself or to take a long trip, be ready to buy that ticket home whenever you have to. But if you're planning to come back, right? Because my thing is, I stayed a couple of rainy seasons in the Gambia, and my last rainy season last year, I got very sick. It's a lot of rain, it's cold, it's hot, it's wet, it's damp, you're just stepping in the mud. You don't know what your body is being exposed to. I caught a cold and it took me kind of a long time, I felt, to get over it. And I'm a healthy person. I don't take medication. But what if you take medication? You should be able to go back to the States during the rainy season Get all of your doctor appointments, visits done. Re-up on your medication and refills, make the adjustments if you have to, and then make your way back to Gambia after the rainy season. That makes more sense. You want to spend time with your family. Your family is watching and they're probably worried about you. So go home, hug on your family, let them hug on you, introduce yourself to the little rugrat grandchildren so they don't forget who you are. All of that stuff you're going to do when you go back and visit. Okay. Your medication that you have, you could possibly get at a pharmacist in Gambia, but the name may be different. So you do you want to run the risk? Even if you get there and your lifestyle changes, you lose weight, you're taking your blood pressure there on a regular basis, you see that your blood pressure is going down, it's getting normal again, and you're thinking, I'm going to take myself off of this medication because I'm fine. If you're going back to see your doctor within a few months, they can advise you, oh, you're doing well now. Let's reduce the amount of your blood pressure medication, or this is this. So I figured that is really the best way for optimum health. So really you want the funds available to bounce in and bounce out. That's where your business comes in. If you have a business and it's online, you're collecting beautiful items that you're going to bring back to whoever is helping assist you in the building with your selling in the States. And you give them those products and then you continue. So you get to take a break, you get to add some things into the things that you need, and then you get to move on. Here's the other thing. When I talk about you get the opportunity to buy other items for your build. Now, I'm talking about build, but even if you didn't build, but you're renting a compound or an apartment, but there are things that you need, you may want to go back to the States and get them and then bring them back with you. And that is what I wanted to share with you. So if you could put a check mark and do those things, you are probably the best candidate for relocating to the Gambia. You want to be retired or retired age, or a retiree, because you could be 50 and retired, but if you don't have those funds available and you're going to have to come up with an idea to generate money, it's going to be a little bit challenging. Or what if you're younger and you have children? We are the ancestral pioneers to the Gambia for most of us. We've come for the first time. We stayed, we lived, we're building. Gambia is not necessarily prepared for younger children. Not yet, but for those that have come with their young children, they are creating an environment for learning, support, and play where they will thrive. In the meantime, it will be very challenging for them. One of the other reasons why I think that it's important to go back. So I met a lot of people there who had retired at 55, maybe 56. They had some monies and then the monies went, and then the waiting to get to 62 or to 65 to collect that Social Security, and you're not quite there yet. I think that there are two things you need to do. This is just my opinion. Go back to the States and try to find some work while you're there. You want to continue to put money into Social Security. You want to continue to file your taxes. You want to stay relevant and involved in the company because you're entitled to that money. I was working since I was 14 years old. There's no way that I am going to, have taxes taken out every year since I was 14. And then I turned 60, 62, 65 and I've been out of the country for 7 years, and you're like, you're not even in the system anymore. You know, I want to stay relevant so that when I show up and knock on that door for my money, there is going to be no problem. So you want to stay relevant. It's going to help you when you go back to the Gambia and then really start to live your best life. The more money you have coming in, the easier it is going to be for you to live there. You think you have enough, and then you don't have enough. Here's the other thing. The first 2 years, if you're planning to stay, is the most expensive. If you ship your items, they have to be brought over to the Gambia, and there is a cost for that. I'm just make sure that the volume is up. Nobody said we can't hear you. Okay. If you buy your items there, I did not ship anything. I bought everything there. I had everything built. There's still a cost for that. Whether you buy something old and get it refurbished, there is a cost for that. If you're renting, in most cases, your landlord is requesting 12 months in advance. In some cases, you may need to buy your own appliances, your refrigerator, your stove, maybe your microwave oven, maybe your own mattress that's comfortable. I rented a place. I negotiated to pay. I had a 12-month lease, but I paid the first 6 months. And then later, the other 6 months, I wanted to make sure that I was in a place that I was going to be happy in. I did not want to shell out money for 12 months. And then 3 months later, I'm not happy and I'm not getting my money back. Chances are you're not going to get your money back. You'll spend time in court and don't do it. So I'm just telling you, be prepared. The understanding is once you rent, if there's something that needs to be fixed, it's your responsibility to fix it. So understand that. You're expected to pay. My landlord lived on a compound with his family. It was a different experience for me, and I'm thankful for that. But it was because of the information that I learned through other YouTubers that I thought, okay, I'm going to negotiate this a little bit differently. And so I had a better experience, but I took the time to really learn. I was just lucky. I was really lucky. Also, what you're going to be doing is so you're renting for at least a year. And you want to make sure that where you're at, you're happy. If not, you'll be moving someplace else. And some people that I've met over the 3 years that I was there, on average, you're moving about 3 to 4 times before you settle into a place that you're completely happy with. So, you're packing up, you're moving, you're unpacking, you're getting settled. You don't know what you're going to expect or what you're going to get until you're actually living in there. And I'm like, turn on all the lights, take your phone and plug it into every outlet to make sure it works. Run the water in the bathrooms and then in the kitchen and then flush the toilet and see what happens. You may go to a place, there's no cash power. Get some cash power, $200 worth of cash power, plug it in, and then put all them lights on. You don't want to look around, be like, oh, it's beautiful, it's big, look at this wonderful view. And then you get settled in, you pay for cash power, and half the outlets do not work. Be prepared. What's the next thing? So you got your living environment, okay? That first year, you're renting. And then you may be in a process of looking for land because you want to build. And then that's going to take more money. Okay. So remember, 12 months to rent and then more money in order to build. You want to be building while you're renting so that when your lease is up, you're moving directly into your home and you're done. That's where the modest mansion comes in. They want to get you on your land quickly. And we'll talk about that in another live, but I just want to just focus on the amount of money you're going to need, okay, for the first 2 years. Your transportation, depending on where you're living, excuse me, you may need to get a car or you shipped your car down. So it costs to take your car from off the ship, excuse me, or you're purchasing a car. I don't even know who I could really recommend. Chances are someone's going to tell you there are cars, there are, used car lots all over Gambia. You just have to be sure that the car that you're purchasing is going to be a car that is not going to be a money pit and you're constantly putting money into the car to keep the car on the road. That's going to bite into your liquidated funds. Okay. If you say, oh, I have money, but I have to wait until my money comes in at the first of the month, you're already challenged because now how do you get around without transportation? So for most of us, public transportation will have to do, but a lot of us just prefer to be in a car. We want to play our music. We want to enjoy being on the road. We want to get to all of that and not be crunched up. I did town trips. What was it? Yeah, I did town trips. I did a 1010 in Senegambia. I learned how to travel from turntable to traffic light in a 1010 or a town trip. I navigated like that when I first got there. When I moved out to my compound, I realized I needed a car. And so there's the responsibility of the maintenance of your car. The other thing that you're going to need, where's my list? There is something else. Your social life. Most of us will come alone and we're going to want to make friends and move around and get out. And that is what we do when you're retired. You have time to sit and visit and eat and have long brunches, have a brunch every day, even on Sundays. You want to have money for a social life so that you're not sitting home alone and depressed. You want to be able to get out and hang out with other sisters, learn who your support system is, those that you're going to be in connection with in an emergency. Okay. And then I think I had something else here, which is the access to your funds. So the four things you will need, four bullet points for the best life when you repatriate is your where you're living, your transportation, your access to funds, because everything now there are some companies now that are doing credit cards, but ask them, is there a fee? There's usually a fee. If you use a credit card outside of the country, it's going to be converted and there is a fee. So you might as well just pay cash. Whatever it is, pay cash. And then you'll need to have a social life. Get out and know people. Get out to find people. I love Shannon. Shannon, she will tell people, reach out to this person or that person. I'm here in the States, but my heart is in the Gambia, and I know a lot of people there. People still call me when they need something. Oh, I need something in the Gambia. They're calling me. Who do I reach out for A, B, and C? I got the people. I know the people. Trustworthy people. That's all I'm trying to deal with. And it doesn't cost me anything. I don't charge a consultation fee because I don't want to steer you in a direction or give you information that I think you want to hear. Let me just ask you a question. If you were looking for a personal trainer and you're coming to me to be your personal trainer, and you say to me, "Oh, do I need a personal trainer?" If the person is fit and I'm looking at them and they look fitter than me, if I tell them yes, I make money. If I tell them no, I don't. I'm conflicted. But I'll be like, "Girl, you look good. You don't need nobody. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." Unless you're coming to meet other people so that you can have part of that social life, then come out unless you need motivation. I don't take money from people because I usually don't, but no, let me clear that up. When it comes to my water class, mom is charging a fee, okay, for mostly everybody, but really because I want to be honest. This is what you're going to need. Now, let's talk about how much you need for the first 2 years. And I've been giving this a lot of thought. You're renting for 12 months, you're buying your car, especially, right? You're buying your land, and your land is going to be out. Now, for most people, I tell them, don't try to go too far. Please don't buy your land online. That just doesn't always do well. Try to get there, and then don't buy your land from your taxi driver. Don't come out of the airport and get into a car and your taxi driver says, "Hey, I know someone that's selling land." Don't try to do that. But take the time out while you're there to look and investigate and make sure that you understand the process and that what you're paying for is what you're going to get. Do I know the process? I don't know the process. I can't, I'll try to recommend someone, but lately I'm hesitant to recommend anyone for anything because I never know how it's going to come out. Life is an experiment in the Gambia. It can start out well the first time, and then, but I'm trying to push people along in certain areas to make sure that we can do well, which means that your second year, you're going to start your build, and you'll need money for that. Right. So while you're building, while you're living, while you're socializing, while you're decorating, these I'm talking about adult women who have sold their homes, who have worked for 30, 40, 50 years. They come there and they want to be in their modest mansion. That means your place is decked out. It is decked out. It is furnished. Your bed is big. Your furniture is nice. You walk in your door. You feel good. You feel normal. You know how much that's going to take the first 2 years? About 40,000 US dollars. Now, I'm not saying bring 40,000 US dollars with you. I'm saying have those funds available and ready so that as you're building, when they request money, you're ready to have it sent. Okay. And then keep a track and be there. I told someone, you know, they inquired about building, and my question to them was, how much space do you want to build? Why? Because if you're imagining a really big house and all of your family coming, chances are that may not happen. Also, when do you want to have it done? When do you plan to settle in the Gambia? Factor all of that in. And don't send money to anyone that you have not, I hate to say the word vetted. Things can go west quickly. So I do it in pieces. I do it in pieces. I told my friend I always play broke. We're running out of money. I need money for blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I'll see what I could do. Nothing has to be a rush. You want to make sure that your build is moving. But what I don't like to do is have a large amounts of money left with anybody anywhere. There can always be a problem, and you don't want that to happen, and you don't want friendships to break down over that. And so it's best to move in a way where if there's a loss, your loss is small. Okay, you don't want to take a big loss because we're still coming there. We're open, we're excited, we're ready, and we're hoping for great things. And sometimes great things don't happen. They just don't happen. So it looks like I am the only person here on my live, which is okay. Like I said, this message is not for everyone. So I'm going to end this live. I'm going to come back on very quickly and talk with you about some of the lighting and equipment that I'm bringing back with me to the Gambia to make my living experience more exciting. So stay tuned. If what I shared with you made sense, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, say thank you. If you disagree, let me know why. Now remember, I said for the best experience. If you want the worst experience, go get your butt over there into No, I'm sorry. That's not nice. The best. That's my opinion for the best. Okay. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Now, how do I get out of this thing? I think I just ended. So let me go here. Family.